Hi, I'm Tracy Brower with Steelcase, and I would like to report for you on some of the work that our team did around the topic of workplace well-being. We've given thought to how this will play out both pre-vaccine and post-vaccine given the COVID pandemic. And we've really given thought as well to both forecasts for what we believe will happen in the near term and the longer term, and recommendations for where to go from here. You can see our team members. We had an awesome team with amazing team members, and you can see them listed here. We really looked at a lot of well-being models. There are lots and lots out there. And we really came to one that we wanted to use as a foundation for our work, and that actually is one that comes from Steelcase. This is a workplace well-being model that really looks at well-being holistically in terms of cognitive and physical and emotional elements of well-being. And as a team, we also wanted to focus on individual and team and organizational well-being. So we really started with those as lenses for well-being. In addition, we really wanted to connect and link well-being and culture. We believe that culture is critical for well-being. Culture affects how decisions are made and how behaviors are shaped. And we believe that it really should be a focus for the CRE profession and professionals as well. We know that when organizations focus on culture intentionally, that the bottom line really benefits from that. And we think that holistic well-being as an element of culture is really, really important. So here's our bold statement. We believe that during this fundamental reinvention of work, the office cannot and should not go away. Lots of people have gone home to work, and we're getting a lot of work done from home. So theoretically, we could always work from home, but just because we can doesn't mean we should. We believe that the office offers really important benefits that benefit the business and benefit people, from getting our work done more effectively, to co-creating, to collaborating, to communicating, and to really the common purpose that we feel when we show up together somewhere. We also think it's really important to our humanity. We want to be in connection with others, and community is a really important part of that, and well-being is tied to all of those things. So we believe that the office has a place now and in the near and in the far term. So we've given some thought to both forecasts and recommendations. So one of our forecasts has to do with culture and overall company approaches. We believe that culture will become increasingly important to customers and to companies who are focusing more intentionally on those. We believe that measurement will be critical, the measurement of what we always measure, but also measurement of culture and measurement of well-being in a more intentional way. We believe leadership will get better, that there kind of isn't any place for mediocrity in leadership during cataclysmic times, and that the empathy of leaders and the ability to connect with people and engage people and motivate people will be critical. And we think that companies may become more innovative. So many barriers have been really busted through that we think that there's an opportunity for greater innovation. On the other hand, if people aren't in the office as much, innovation may be something that has to be more intentional, because some of those serendipitous connections may not happen as much. So what do we do about this one? We really believe that companies need to revisit and refresh their overall vision and mission and strategy in light of all the changes, assess their purpose and the purpose for the office, and really be intentional about assessing culture and connecting that to place, and thinking about how culture is really built, sustained, and maintained. And we think there's an opportunity for RE, FM, HR, and IT to link really intentionally in the organization, and to form opportunities for learning externally as well, for example, with healthcare and health organizations. Another forecast is that we believe that the future will be all about people and choice and agency. So we believe this is about giving people choice about where they work and when they work and how they work to a greater extent than we ever have, giving them autonomy. We believe that trust will be really important, and organizations that can foster trust and increase trustworthiness on the part of individuals and teams and organizations will be most successful. We believe it will be all about connections and the way that we offer community for people. And we believe it will also have to do with diversity and inclusion. The opportunity to be more inclusive as people are working from home and able to connect more equally has been instructive. And we believe that inclusive design and diversity generally in all ways that an organization embraces that will be important and will rise to the fore in terms of how it's dealt with for companies. So our recommendations are that companies really support mental health and go to a greater extent to support employees than ever in terms of programs and holistic well-being. We believe that companies need to pay attention significantly to community, how community is built based on place and also based on the processes of work. And we believe that companies need to focus on communication, more communication to more people more of the time, not to overwhelm, but to make sure that people have a level of trust. People don't trust what they don't understand, so we believe that that communication piece will be really, really important. We also are forecasting around process and how the work gets done. We believe that processes and teams will be more important than ever, and that process will need to increasingly drive how teams are organized, who is in the office. Theoretically, we've always started with work process and we've designed around that. But we want to make sure that process becomes even more important, and we believe that it will. We believe that the ability to think about process, the capability to think about process, and how work is done has become more important than ever because of so much work going home. And so when we can make that explicit, we believe that that's helpful in thinking about who needs to be in the office and how the work gets done. Technology will also be incredibly important. It's always been important. It's always been an accelerator, but we believe that this process makes it even more so. So our recommendations are to start with process, do plenty of process mapping, process really exploration to understand how it needs to drive the way that we design and implement workplaces. Tools and technology need to be ubiquitous, both in home and on campuses. And we believe that ergonomic support should be really proactively pursued. So when people are working from home more and when they're in the office more, that opportunity to support ergonomics in a very, very proactive way where we're kind of pushing it for employees and giving them new options will be very important. And we have some forecasts about real estate and the workplace. We believe that there will be greater options for people and a greater ecosystem and a holistic look at work experience, both in an office and a campus and outside in home offices and third places and fourth places. We're imagining cooperative workplaces where people are coming together more and where the purpose of the place at a headquarters or a key hub location is really about those connections. And we may see more satellite locations where work is more focused or more independent for people who maybe can't do that work at home. We're imagining that physical workplace will be supported with greater protocols and rules and responsibilities for people, and those will need to be behavioral as well as rule-based. The key will be to have people really buy in and engage and behave in new ways. So our recommendations are to do a really significant real estate assessment. There may be places where real estate stays neutral. You need more real estate to support the same number of people, but with less density. Maybe real estate is reduced because more people are working from home. Maybe real estate is expanded because you realize that you need more locations, or you realize that you may need actually people in the office to a greater extent because there's just something about the office that is more effective than working anywhere else. We think that it will be important to have customizable interiors that are aligned for well-being, and utilization may be something that we sync with cleanliness. So not just is a space available based on utilization technology, but is it clean? Is it ready? Cleaning practices will be critical, and really inclusive design, as we talked about, will be critical as we embrace diversity. Behavioral protocols will be important, and change management will be critical. While change management is fundamentally about some basic and foundational elements, it's also really critical to think about how foundational or how different change management may be moving forward. And so companies have the opportunity to refresh and reimagine and reinvent the work experience. We are in the middle of the most significant reinvention of work and our concept of work than we've ever been. And so we think that creating cultures of well-being will be really critical to that. Well-being that is holistic, that is about the physical and the emotional and the cognitive at the individual and the team and the organizational level. And so we think that this will really help employees, communities, and companies really learn to thrive in the future, survive in the now and the near, but really thrive as we move forward. Thank you.